I don't have glasses, everyone, so consider yourself warned.
Welcome. Jesus. Action. Welcome to Allie and Odds podcast, episode 14. 10-4. 10-4. No, wait, it's 14.
Yeah.
10-4. That'd be 14 too. All right.
I think I did all those.
Welcome. As always, you can subscribe to our podcast at YouTube at allieandodds.com. Just kidding. You can follow us on Instagram at allieoddspodcast.com. .com. And so I also want to just make a comment. I heard from some of the fans that our last, I heard from the fans that our last podcast,
Bad.
No, it wasn't bad. It just was
Boring.
No, they said that I looked really red.
You did.
Was I super drunk?
Yes.
No.
And you were in the sun.
I was in the sun at a baseball game all day.
And Audrey doesn't wear sunscreen.
And I don't wear sunscreen. I don't believe in sunscreen. Mm-hmm. So that is why my face was so red. So
I think that's why I remember when I messaged you and said, does my skin look like a weird color? Like I thought I looked like I had jaundice. And you were so red.
No, I think it was honestly just your highlighter that looked just a little, a little bit more highlighty. So anyways, I had some cocktails, but I wasn't drunk. That's not why I was all red. It's because I sat in the sun all day.
And had fun.
There you go. Yeah, it was fun.
Oh,
cheers. Cheers.
don't bang.
Yeah, gentle. And we're starting to work this microphone thing. Yeah, your hair looks cute. I like the color of it.
Oh.
Did you dye your roots?
No, they need to be done. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to save this one until after hours. It's not a super good after hours, but you said you didn't have anything, so I'll just save that. Oh, your pee-hole.
She's back. No, I just have a couple quick facts.
Yeah?
Stats.
Yeah?
Question. 3 things I have.
That's it? That's all you got?
Yeah.
All right.
Do you want me to go or are you going first?
Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about one thing that I said I would never do in a previous podcast.
Okay.
So one of the things I said I would never, ever do because there's too much crime and blood and guts was watch Game of Thrones.
Oh, you are doing that.
Guess what I'm doing?
I'm jealous, actually. I wish Kevin would watch it. God, Kevin.
So John and I started watching Game of Thrones, and it's actually better than I anticipated. I wasn't quite sure how it was going to go with all the dragons and all the, Allison, please put your hand down.
I have watched House of Dragon, which is the prequel, and I love it.
Okay, well, see, I wasn't sure how I was going to do with all the, mystical creatures and stuff. Yeah. Here's the thing. If you are...
Is it the sex and violence that draws you in?
The sex doesn't bother me. There's not as much as I thought. Everybody made it seem like, oh my God, there's so much sex and blah. There's not. It's really... There's
just
some.
Like a regular old Saturday at your house.
Yeah. No, but the violent scenes of all the action...
Killing?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I will say, if you're going to watch Game of Thrones, and I know it's been out forever, first of all... Okay, couple things. If you're going to watch it, you have to be ready to not know who everybody is all the time, right? Because there's a lot of different families.
It takes a while to get invested and figure out who's who.
Yeah, so just bear with it. You're not going to know everything all the time.
Can I just say this to that?
Yeah.
This to that.
This to that. Sounds like a rap song.
When I watched House of Dragon, and my friend Nicole that I used to work with, she kind of brought me onto this because I would just skip over it at the end. They do a review of the episode when they're in. So when House of Dragon was on, after it was on, you could do an inside the episode, and the director and everyone talks, and they kind of explain to you what's going on.
Got it.
So sometimes when you aren't really sure how it all connects or why certain things happen, they were informative.
I can't wait to watch House of Dragon then.
Yeah, you'll love it.
But I would say Kevin, Big Cat.
How many mermaid tails?
You're pulling out the mermaid tails? I would say 4.5, actually. It's pretty intriguing.
Out of 5.
Out of 5.
Okay.
And the other thing that I would say is behind the scenes, the thing that I really appreciate is that all the main characters that are like in it to win it, they all fought to get paid the same amount of money for the most part. So all of the main characters towards the end made $1.2 million per episode. And it took billions of dollars to make the series.
But they made that money back.
Oh, for sure. And now...
And they were in a beautiful location.
Yes, multiple locations.
Yeah.
So it was either Scotland or Ireland or whatever. The other thing that I think is funny is like before I even knew what Game of Thrones was about, like do you remember in Vegas, John and Kevin would always find the Game of Thrones slot machine. And then they're like Dracarius or whatever.
The dragon comes.
But that's like her code word for him to breathe fire. So like now I get it. Like when they were winning the money, it's when the dragon was breathing fire, and why they lost money is when the White Walkers would come. So I'm like, oh, now it makes sense
together.
So I guess we'll have to go to Vegas sometime to see if they still have the Game of Thrones slot machines, because now I understand it. But I just wanted to go back and say I'm now watching it. Can I tell you,
because I didn't have this on my list, and we just finished watching the 3rd season of Narcos. We were up till 11 o'clock on a school night, by the way.
Is there a lot of reading?
Speaking of killing.
Is there a lot of reading in Narcos?
Yeah, well, Kev gets bored. Initially, it was hard to get into because you have to read all the subtitles because it's partially in Spanish. Let's say mostly.
It's partially in Spanish?
Most Spanish, English.
No habla inglés.
And then Pablo
Escobar.
Pascal
is
the guy from The Last of Us, which is another great series on HBO Max. It just goes off of a video game.
Oh, I didn't realize that was a video game.
The fungi and that's really good too. But we just finished the 3rd season and they're in Colombia, and there is a lot of killing, and they don't care about you. They will kill you.
Yeah. So, do you want to know a fun fact?
For the cocaine.
For the blow?
Yeah. Yeah.
First of all, our camera's on this side, so that's weird, because usually I'm looking at you this way. So when I look this way at the camera, I'm usually looking at you. So
we're trying new things today.
Now my eyes hurt because I'm like, should I look this way or should I look at you? Fun fact about Colombia. So somebody John works with has a wife from Colombia, and he just got back from visiting her family for the first time.
Was she a mail order bride?
No.
Oh, okay.
They met here.
Okay.
So, and she's sweet. She's a sweetheart.
A bad question?
No.
Oh.
No. I don't think she's a mail order bride.
Okay.
I not that I gather.
Someone I used to work with has a mail order.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do people still do that? How much does it cost to ship a bride somewhere?
I don't even know, but I think it's kind of that whole, like, what's that 90 Day Fiance and all those other weird shows.
You just wonder, like, really?
What the real is.
No, so...
Anyways.
I'm not going to talk about her name or whatever because I don't want to get into it, but she said, you know how I have a cheese love. I love me some cheese. Any cheese. Cheddar, Gruyere, Brie, Swiss. I have some burrata downstairs I was going to make for dinner. I forgot about it.
I love burrata.
And then... the person John works with is like, you think we love cheese in America. In Colombia, they put cheese on everything.
It's like Frank's.
Hot chocolate.
Put that shit on everything.
Yeah, but it's cheese.
Yeah.
And so his wife was laughing. She's like, yep. And I'm like, give me some examples. Like, I love cheese. Like, what are you putting cheese on? She's like, hot chocolate, fruit salad has cheese. Salads, which is not uncommon. If they're having candy, they'll put cheese on candy. They'll melt it in chocolate. She's like, we eat cheese on everything.
Do they poop ever?
I mean, I didn't ask, but maybe I can ask her next time I see her.
Seems like a constipation kind of culture. Can I talk about that then? Because you stole one of my things. Remember this week when I said it was National Cheese Day?
Yes.
Was it Monday or Tuesday? Mm-hmm. So just 6/4/24. I wrote the date down.
That's National Cheese Day?
Yep.
6/4/20. That's a really good even number.
1,000 varieties of cheese in the world.
What?
It seemed like a little to me. Like I felt like it would be more.
No, you think more than 2,000 is a lot.
Yeah. And then the other fact
imagine having 2,000 things, 2,000 kilos of cheese.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. It'd be your Best nightmare.
The other fact that came along with this that I was listening to my radio show in the morning was that the average person eats 40 pounds of cheese a year.
Oh, and I've heard that cheese is like American sugar because there's so much sugar in it. But now that I hear that Colombians eat a lot of cheese and Italians, fuck it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Really, 2,000 varieties and 40 pounds a person.
Yeah.
So if you're lactose intolerant and you're not pooping after cheese,
That's bad.
yeah, like what do? You just have 40
you're
pounds
miserable, I think.
You have 40 pounds of cheese waste in you. Does Cheese Whiz count as cheese or is that fake cheese? Is
I think-
Velveeta a cheese?
No.
You don't think
I think
so?
that's like a government cheese kind of thing. I think that is processed. So that wouldn't be a cheese.
I don't even think that is real. I don't.
No, it's
Nobody
all
chemicals.
manufactured.
Yeah.
Is that the right word?
Yeah.
It's all,
Modified.
there you
It's
go.
all GMO'd.
It's not from a cow.
No.
Or a
I've never
goat.
seen.
Or,
I've never seen a cow like squirt out Velveeta cheese.
no. No.
And if I did, I wouldn't eat it. Gross.
Yeah.
Okay. What else do you got?
Well, do you have stuff?
I just have one more thing I want to talk about.
I think I only have, okay, I have two things.
Yeah, let's do it.
One is just a statistic I heard this morning on the radio as well. Mm-hmm. And it was sad for all the kids out there. Actually, the parents, really. So, by age 12, as a child, a parent has already spent 70% of their kid's life with them.
Oh, wait. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're
So,
saying.
like,
because then they
as
go
they age
off.
out. So then at age 18,
As they age out.
you've spent 90% of the time you will spend with your kids at age 18. So we're out.
I feel like that's not
I
right.
think it's an average, right? So I think there are some people who are, that's what they were talking about. So families who live close by each other, or families who are just closer in general. But I think on average, at the age of 12, most kids in the country will have already spent 70% of their life with their parents.
Okay, but then think about this. Like, is that your phone?
Yeah, it was. Let's see who it was.
Is that your phone?
No, it was a text message.
Oh, just wait. I just turned mine off so I can't yell too much. Here's the thing, though. I feel like I probably spent more time with my mom as an adult because, again, we talked about this kind of last
That's where
time.
I'm saying it's life specific. So the average child, and let's think about nowadays, kids are with their parents so much more with sports because I think sports are on a different level than they were.
Or any activity, drama or choir or whatever.
It's just on like
Marching
steroids. Ew. Sorry for all the clarinetists out there or flutists.
I was a
Flutist.
flautist and a flagger.
It's flout?
Do you want to see my
Is
color?
it flout or flute?
It's a flout.
I thought it was a flutist.
It is a flutiste. Do you want to see my color guard routine from high school?
No.
It's this. And then you stick your flag up real tall, and then you have to drop it behind your back without
Really
hitting
good.
you in the head.
Really
And then you
good.
have to go this way, and then you bring it down. And then you start again.
Well, we've had enough of that.
Here's the thing. I hope that I get to spend more time with Mo as she gets to be an adult, but I guess I get it. Like,
Well, they have their own lives and they work, and she's
busy driving.
doing her thing. I was just gonna say that, but I didn't want to say it. They're all commuting to work.
Yeah.
Peeps is too.
Here's the thing. I think they're learning the lesson that commuting is
Being a
not
grown-up
all it's
sucks.
cracked up to be.
Yeah, but I get I know it's grumpykins to go back and forth, but to be honest, that is probably one of the things I miss most about today when we were in that stupid event and we were doing all the talking. I wish we could just be together at times to share some of those quirky things.
Yeah.
When
I
we're
get
all
that.
together. So I get there is a little bit of energy you gain from being just with the masses, the people,
Yeah.
whoever they are. Because
Whether they're dumbasses or not.
Yeah,
You're just like, oh my God.
Yeah, but
Kenneth is really picking his nose over there.
You're stupid.
What is the worst thing that you've ever seen somebody do at work? In person?
I just saw something on social media actually that made me laugh so hard. So when I worked at the hospital, and we had like 2 fridges in the break room. People would bring their lunches, and people would eat other people's food.
So
yeah,
dumb
so
to
dumb.
me.
So it was like one of those to-go clams.
It's like
and
when
it
you
said I had 5 pieces of chicken and 4,362 grains of rice because it was like a Asian
You
dish.
know exactly what that's like. Yes. Did anybody ever steal your lunch?
No, I didn't. No, nobody ever did. But I had a couple of my coworkers who, stuff would be missing. So then, when their stuff would happen, I would start to strategically put my stuff in a certain way. So then you knew if someone went in there.
Yeah.
But, oh God, that's so gross. What if someone? You don't know what they're, especially if it was something from home. What's their
I
life
hated company potlucks. I would not eat at them because I'm like, I don't know what your house is like.
There was an older person, and I didn't work with her for very long but she kept some of her dead animals in her freezer.
What?
Like she had a ferret and like a cat. People would talk about that, and I was like, why would anyone ever eat anything that came from her house? And then when COVID came, all that kind of went out the door, and people just didn't share food or do any of that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm ill.
Well, my cat was walking on the counter today, and you know what I immediately did? I'm like, get off the counter, and she went, meow, and then I just like,
yeah.
Because I knew you guys were coming over for dinner. I mean,
People don't do that though. I think it's so weird,
No.
and you just don't know people's like habits or home situations. So
yeah. I'm trying to think of the weirdest thing. I did have one person on my team that every morning would make, and we worked in a pretty big space, so it was like open cubicles, right?
Was there a specific lunchroom or break room?
There was, yeah. So it was
With
like
like
a
a
galley
microwave
kitchen,
or whatever,
So
okay.
every morning, this person on my team would make maple syrup. What is it? Maple syrup oatmeal, like instant
brown
oatmeal.
sugar maple.
Yes.
Yeah.
And eat it at her desk, right? Fine, I don't fucking care. Like,
I bet it
whatever.
smelled nice.
No, that's the problem. Somebody came to me and they're like, I just want to let you know that, like the smells from the oatmeal every morning is really
The
like
aroma.
starting to make me sick. I have a really like strong aversion to
Shut
vanilla.
up, Karen.
So do you know what I told her? I said, what did this person say when you talked to her about
she didn't.
doing it? She's like, well, I thought
dummy.
you would talk to her. I'm like, well, I will after the
Coward.
fact. Yeah, I will after the fact. And once you tell me that you've had the conversation
Was this
with her,
for this business you have now or
No.
the other business?
different
Okay.
other business. That is like, I'm like, you really, like, you can just be like, hey, so-and-so, just, is there any way that you could eat your oatmeal in the galley kitchen,
Yeah.
just quick, gobble it down?
Dumb. No,
Yeah.
I would be like, fuck you, Karen.
Her
couldn't
name
pop.
was Sue.
We couldn't pop popcorn because people would burn it too much, and then it always smelled like a fire. And we worked in a hospital, so it would like set off alarms.
Yeah.
And then
Can I interrupt for 1
Yes.
second? So today, or this week, yesterday maybe, or the day before, I bought brioche bread
okay,
to make, like, I was going to make
French
some turkey
toast.
sandwiches. Oh, I should make French
that's
toast.
delicious.
But here's the thing, like, I tried to toast 2 pieces of brioche bread and burnt both of them.
Dumb.
And you know how long my house smelled like burnt toast?
Forever. That's why you couldn't do it, because people would get so mad. The other thing that is another thing that is annoying when you're in a break room, a communal break room, when people heat up any sort of fish.
Or eat tuna salad or any of it.
Yeah. And that smells like death.
It smells like death. Well, you worked with a lot of different
Cultures.
cultures.
So then, yes, their food always smells different too. Which,
Not in a
good,
bad
bad,
way,
or
just-
indifferent. Yeah, they would
God,
always
give me some curry.
They
I made
would
some
bring
chicken
in
curry this week. It
God,
was
what were those
delicious.
little like pie things they used to bring in that were
Pampas? Pampas?
I don't know, but we had so many good and rolls, spring rolls, egg rolls, you name it. Everything homemade. It was so good. We used to do waffles on the weekend. Yeah, it was good.
Somebody would make waffles?
Yeah, they'd bring in my one coworker.
You couldn't
Would bring in
burn
her
them.
waffle maker.
Aw.
And she would measure out batter in a cup, a Dixie cup,
Yeah.
like multiple, so then everyone just dumped the right increment in there.
That's awesome. Do you just, so that's what you miss. You do miss some of that.
Yeah, I mean, just
Yeah.
being with people and talking, like talking about shows. That was kind of our thing. We'd stand around and talk about what people were watching, and I just started watching. I sent that was my text message that you were annoyed by to Jordan.
She gets a mention in every single. She's going to be our first guest.
She's popular.
Yeah, can we get her on? We should do a
I'll
remote.
ask her.
Yeah, let's do a remote.
The Lost Flowers of Alice Hart, and I saw it online. It is a show on Prime.
Is it sad?
Yes. It's kind of about abuse.
Well, when you talk about lost flowers.
Yeah, it's about abuse. I'm like 3 or 4 episodes in, but I had sent it. She always sends me stuff. Documentaries is really our jam. But she sent it, and she's like, oh, good, I don't have any shows right now. So that's what I sent her. It's really good. So far, so good. And then there's another movie on Max that I just looked up, and it's like The Great Lillian something, and it is Kathy Bates and Jessica
Biel.
Nope, old
McClan.
Jessica.
McCullen.
You know who she is. She's from American Horror Story.
Jessica.
Why can't I remember her name right now?
Munchie
Anyways,
Cheese.
yeah.
Do you remember Munchie Cheese?
It is
Sorry.
a theater actress, and
Yeah.
she starts to lose her memory.
Oh.
And it's about like her, and at the one thing that got me at the end, and it was like the trailer, and she says to Kathy Bates, her friend, she says, don't ever let me forget who I was.
Aw.
It was really sad.
Well, if I ever said to you,
I'm
in
already
that
going to lose my
state-
memory. Just put me in a nursing home.
No, don't say that. No, you need to take some fish oil and stuff to help with your memory.
I'm not.
Then we're not going to be friends anymore if you're not going to take care of yourself. Oh, put a wooden spoon over it. Oh my God. For those that didn't see it, filling
Right
the drink
to the
with
rim.
bubblies. Okay. If I ever had memory issues, and not to make light of the situation, right? Like we're gonna
it's
kind of
serious.
make light, but I have another documentary to tell you about that I started watching today after work. Is if there's something where I'm like, Allie, like I forget who I am, show me like a glimpse of my life of who I am. What would you do? What would you make me do?
Well, you make you do, or like show you something, like visually show you
Well,
something.
like for me,
like
if
take
you were,
you want an
ever-
experience, or
if-
you want a video.
experience, because like if you were ever like,
Well, I would take
Odds.
you to the
Just-
casino.
no, I would take you to the casino. I was gonna say that, and I'd give you a truly.
Oh my
I'd be like, this is who you are.
I love
And I'd
it.
take you to a boxer rescue so you could see dogs that would remind you of both
I
your
was
boys.
thinking today about Mavi's getting old, and that makes
Don't
me
even.
sad.
We're not even going there. Look it. I have my glass.
Yeah.
Oh.
What would I do for you?
What would be your? Okay, this is odds.
Oh gosh.
Because, like I said, I just thinking off the cuff for you, it would also be. I think
I would take you on a food experience.
Yep.
Because
That's
I
good.
think you like to like go and experience that. We'd get some pull tabs.
Is there a cheese warehouse you can take me to?
We could go to the Burnett Dairy.
Oh yeah.
They have a cute little deli.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Would the casino and Truly be right for you?
sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd take that.
Okay.
I'd take that. I just told my family to leave me there if I don't remember them, though. Because I don't want, like, honestly, like, here's the thing. I don't want to be a burden. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
If I don't even know.
Well, I
don't care.
I think we talked about this one time. I don't want to be buried. I'll be cremated, and you can do whatever you want with my
Yeah.
remains. Just like
Remember I sent you that TikTok? The kid's dad. So the son's like a doctor. And when the dad dies, he says he wants him to take his bones and assemble
Yes,
a skeleton
into
in
a
the lobby.
skeleton.
So that
we
people
talked
can-
about this.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
did, I think it was not last episode, but the episode before. So
About the
episode
butler. 27.
11 or 12.
Yeah,
11 or 12
somewhere
or
around
13.
there.
Yeah, no, I just, you know what? I just want to be remembered in other things. Pictures in your house.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think our kids' generation will ever go to the, like, funeral house.
Home.
Not home.
Funeral
I'm-
home.
Graveyard, burial
Oh, yeah.
yard. I don't think they'll ever go and, like, come see us. And why would I want them to do that? That's not how I want you to remember me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to be stuffed in Mo's
I think
house.
it's kind of a weird
so it's gonna be
generational
fine.
thing. You know,
Yeah.
I haven't had my grandma's passed away. My dad has passed away, but I don't go to the whatever. Fort Snelling.
It's just not your deal.
Yeah, but Kevin, his mom, we go, and my sister-in-law is in a place, and we go there. Like, it makes me sad, though. So it's really hard for me, because I get, like, sadness about that. Yeah. And I just want to remember them in a... So that's why I say I don't want it to be, like, a sad... That's why I say when I die, there better not be a whole lot of crying or anything. Let's party. Let's play some gangster rap, and we'll just drink. We'll play Edward 40 Hands.
Shut up! That is a slam against me. So somebody at work told me about this new game that's been around for 10 years or more. And it's called Edward 40 Hands, where you just like duct tape some alcohol to your hands. And then
specifically it was 40 ounces back in the
like
day.
Malt liquor.
Yes.
But she just does beer. And then you can't unduct tape yourself until after you've drank both. And she said the key is to alternate. So then neither one of them gets too hot or too cold. Yeah. And I'm like,
they never get too cold.
Well, true. They're always going to get too hot.
And so she sent the text, and I said, first one to respond, old news.
I didn't know. I thought maybe your kids would not know about this, and apparently they do.
Yeah.
So
they're up to snuff on these things, Audrey.
So I have one more thing to talk about. So
do I.
And I have to pee again. Fuck me. Why do I have to pee all the time? Why do I have to pee all the time? Okay. I started watching a show today called Dancing with the Devil, the 7M TikTok cult.
Oh, Jordan did text me about that one.
Did she watch it?
Yes, but I still have not watched it.
So let me just say a couple things. First of all, you know how like in a couple episodes previously, I'm like, oh my God, I got down the rabbit hole of like dancers on social media. I want to learn how to dance. Well, now I'm like, are these fuckers in this cult? So it's called.
Tell me more about it because I don't really know.
It's called. It kind of started with the Wilkins sisters. They were like TikTok dancers, and they were like superstars. Okay. And then there's this like production company called 7M Media or something, films. But it's also tied to a church that's run by a gentleman. I can't remember his name.
It always goes back to the fucking church, Audrey. Every time.
So like people in this cult don't know that they're in a cult.
Did they belong to the church, or the church just was the production company?
The church was the production company.
But they weren't necessarily
But the church
members.
also owned real estate company, and they owned this. So these Wilkins sisters, I think that's how you say it. I recognize them from TikTok. And when they were little, they always had like this close bond that like, hey, we're going to be famous together. They're great dancers. Well, one of the sisters kind of got caught up with another person that was in this cult, allegedly in a cult.
Okay.
A cult. And stopped all conversation with her family. Totally started believing all the stuff this guy said. And then this guy would just say, like, he is the only way to eternal life. And if you don't follow him, there's going to be death, right? And it was actually, it's called the Shekinah Church. Okay. And they're actually the family of one of the sisters, right? Miranda, I think is her name, who got married to another person in the cult. They were trying to get her out, and so they called the human trafficking organization that tries to help people. And I didn't know this, but now there's a thing called labor traffic, where you are actually being trafficked
for your work.
It's almost like, honestly, like
child
modern day
slaves.
Like,
yeah, okay.
Because they're not children, they're adults.
Right, but like
so
that
they're
idea
not getting paid. So they have like jobs that they're being paid for, and they're getting like $37,000 for everything that they're doing, like on like, I don't know, a sports halftime show. But they're not getting that money. The guy from the church is getting the money. So he's basically soliciting them.
I just had a conversation with one of my hair clients that I see about the Duggars. Oh, and if you read the book about, I think it was Jill Duggar, the same thing. She never saw any of that money. No. She was like broke.
Right. Well, and that's what's happening to these people. So they have millions of followers, and when you see them on social media, you're like, holy shit, like I recognize them, I know them, I've looked at them. So do you think,
question, like, because I don't know how far you're into this, like, is it just because it was early on in like the TikTok thing, or this is just something
in the last 2 years?
in
the last 2 years, So I would highly recommend it. And the thing where I'm like,
Netflix, right?
yeah, the piece where I'm like, God, when does it become a cult and when is it just normal religion? And everything that I've ever seen, and this is Audrey's.
Yeah, how do you feel about that? Because you have a church experience.
Well, some of it was pretty traumatic, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh my God, we did that in my church. We did that in my church. It's when the pastor starts saying they are the only way, whether it's male, female, they are the only way to heaven. You have to believe me. And that is when I think it stops being a religion.
You say they, you mean the person speaking it is the way.
The only way you will get to heaven is Audrey is the one that is your path to heaven.
Right.
That is when I think it becomes a cult and not a religion anymore.
Like a David Koresh or this or
whatever.
That, whatever.
Or the lady with the weight loss program or whatever.
Yes, I watched that one too.
So you will love it. I highly recommend it.
No, that was the last thing she messaged me was the day I watched that. And I was like, no, I'm in the throes of Narcos right now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be a drug lord.
Don't be a drug lord. Don't do that. All right, I had to pee really bad. Do you have one thing that you can talk about fast, or should we say for after hours?
It's a question we can say for after hours.
Okay,
after
after
I don't know
hours.
what yours is.
Okay. Be brave. Try something new. And sorry I have to pee again.
Don't pee your pants.
Don't pee your pants. Be brave. Don't pee your pants. Okay. I'll be right back.